Ma'am, shall we start, ma'am? Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, we'll start, no problem.
Okay, ma'am.
Wishing a very good afternoon to you for this wonderful day. Hoping this day turns out to be a memorable one for you. May God bless you and keep you happy. Half of the day is over. Have a wonderful afternoon and enjoy the rest of the day. On the behalf of our Department of English, PPG College of Arts and Science, I welcome you all for the third day of 7-day national level FDP. The program on Discourse of Cross Culture and Cultural Trauma. And the topic of today is With this, I would like to welcome today's guest, Ms. S. Yasmin ma'am. Welcoming you, ma'am. I would like to welcome my supporting partners, Mrs. D. Deepika Devi ma'am and Ms. V. Menaka Devi ma'am to this section. And I like to welcome all the participants from various places. Heartily welcome you all. In this regard, I would like to invite Ms. V. Menaka Devi, Assistant Professor, Department of English, to introduce our chief guest.
Welcome the challenges. Look for the opportunities in every situation to learn and grow in wisdom. A warm good afternoon to all. I feel honored to welcome our chief guest of the day, Ms. S. Yashman, Assistant Professor and Head Department of English, Congo Arts and Science College, Erode. She was also worked as an assistant professor at Banariaman Institute of Technology, Satyamangalam. She was a translator and a lifetime member in ELTAI. Moreover, she volunteered herself in Indian Society for Technical Education. She has done 3 publications so far and presented 5 papers in international level, 12 papers in national level, and 5 papers in state level. With a short profile, I would like to hand over the session to Ms. S. Yashman, ma'am. Ma'am, the session is yours.
Yes, ma'am, thank you so much. Good afternoon to one and all present here. And it's my pleasure and privilege to uh, share my views on cross cultural communication and through this FDP. And I welcome all the participants as well as the principal of PPGCAS for this FDP program. And thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful opportunity given to me. And I would like to thank the management and the Department of English faculty members of PPG Arts and Science College for their invitation and the opportunity provided to me. And with no wait, I would like to just plunge into my topic, that is contextualizing cross cultural communication. And today's topic as the entire FDP overviews it gives a panoramic view on cross cultural communication and cross cultural trauma in literature. I would like to concentrate on the communicative part, that is the language part of cross cultural communication in this globalization era and in this globalization era as well. I would like to point some of the important aspects of cross cultural communication. And with this note, I would like to open up my PPT. Let me continue. The cross culture communication. Actually, the cross cultural communication, we all live in a world where many cultures and languages or styles of communication merge together and cross each other more and more frequently. As I said in the earlier, that is, globalization has a great impact on cross cultural communication. As we know very well, culture can be considered as a sum of total ways of living, including behavioral norms, linguistic expression, styles of communication, patterns of thinking, and beliefs and values of a group, are large enough to be self-sustaining, transmitted over course of generations. So a culture is transmitted within the generations, and nowadays even the culture of there are some conflict in between the generations. There is a concept called intergenerational cultural conflict is prevailing nowadays, because the previous generation and the present generation is felt something difficult while they are converging at at some point. So in this globalization era, people of different countries, ethnicities, and cultures, they can work together and to communicate effectively. And this communication, this working together, makes the different countries and their ethnicities to converge at one point and meet at one point to make a productive result on a greater scale. So cross cultural communication theory explores how these people how different people situated in are coming from different countries across the world, and the people of different ethnicities across the world and cultures can work together to communicate most effectively. This means these people have to overcome language differences, understanding multicultural non-verbal cues, and they have to work together to understand how to best convey ideas across cultural divides. As for we can say, for example, in previously within we can say that in our teens or within 5 to 7 years before, we used to watch only we used to read literature and books, and if we want to watch television serials or television shows, we'll only rely on some English serials, like it may be produced by the Britain or USA or some European countries. But nowadays, our generation, the Z generation learners nowadays, people, youngsters, the learners are they are they are looking for serials, and they are looking for TV shows across the world. From this end to that end, they are ready to watch. Definitely, nowadays we all becoming addicted. They are all becoming addicted even to the BTS and other Korean dramas, whatever be the thing. So Korean dramas and Chinese dramas. So this shows that though there are some language barriers, and though there are some difficulty in understanding those multiculturals, we are doing the present generation people are doing it. So it is to overcome this communication, and we have to work together. That is the scenario of the world nowadays. So this fruitful relationships we are maintaining across the cultural barriers is one of the need of the hour, and it is prevailing. This is prevailing in this period of time. And there are free exchange of information among people of different backgrounds, and they are empowering each other, and they are helping each other and for the valuable data flow, as well as. And there is, as we said, it is globalization which makes these things happening nowadays. And with this note, and I would like to just mention some of the problems we are facing in this cross cultural communication. So first problem, it is a lack of understanding, which means the failure in interpreting parts are all of what a person has said to another person. Yes, there is some misunderstanding as well. That means an interpretation which is made is inadequate or incorrect. So there is a chance or opportunity for poor understanding, and which leads to the misunderstandanding. And this is all because of some of the factors like communicative contents, insufficient awareness of lack of others cultural background, inability or ability to speak the language which is used for the communication. So these are all some of the factors which impact the misunderstanding or understanding or lack of understanding of what is communicated. And emotional reactions, which are actions adhering with the process of understanding and misunderstanding. As we know very well, there is no culture has same kind of, no two cultures have same kind of non-verbal clues or uh, yes, ma'am, am I audible? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Well, well, well. So on some factors like these are all so emotional reactions and actions which are adhering to with the process of understanding and misunderstanding. So we have to think of the non-verbal clues or the cultural values and uh, habituations. Okay, so what are all the practices followed in different countries, which means these are all meant to be, if people of different cultures, they have to be converged at one point, then these barriers to be dealt with. So next, another interpretation or another reason for misinterpretation, problems of misinterpretation is interruption and breaking down. Some people we all know very well, some of if even the language English is a global language, but we can see how Indians used to speak it, that is the pace of the speaking English. Some people will talk very fast, and some people will talk somewhat in a different pace and different manner. So it is difficult to understand when we take the European countries and the Western countries. Their way of talking English is entirely different from that of the Eastern countries like Japan, China, Korea, and all. So this is also one of the reasons. And next thing is communicating on the conditions of having a difference between the individual's level of knowledge. So if a senior manager is communicating with his workforce, with his junior employee, then it is like a different scenario. So these is also one of the factors that creates problem in the in the cultural communication. And another one thing is how we are communicating with the via through a third party. This is also is very important, because of that third party. If we are communicating through a third party, then that person doesn't know the language or doesn't have the, if he or she has that language or cultural barrier, then it is difficult for us to communicate. So these are all some of the problems of cross cultural communication. And what are all the basic elements which meant for cross cultural communication? It is language, non-verbal communication, and social norms. Yes, I am in. I'm just moving. Yes. Language. Actually, verbal communication is how mostly people explicitly convey information from one to another. And so, if we know how to speak different languages, and which this also empowers the people to connect across cultural divides. But if you overcome the language barrier, and it is the one of the greatest obstacle which barriers the free flowing of the communication. So the conversational level of fluency is very very necessary, and this element is the fundamental and basic element of cross cultural communication. And next comes the non-verbal communication. As we know very well, in a workplace or in any other in situation, the non-verbal cues and non-verbal clues in the body language, which we use it to say the non-verbal communication, like eye contact, our facial expressions, or how we are moving with people. So these are all important for the access of information. Still, nonverbal communication often takes on different meanings among different cultural groups. For example, an if inoffensive hand gesture in one culture, maybe it might be an offensive in another one culture. As we know very well, the Japanese, I mean, for an instance, I'm saying this, the Japanese, they don't sniff inside before others, but in other countries, it is quite natural to sniff. So this is the non-verbal communication. This is the barrier which we see, the basic element which we see in the cross-cultural communication. And the social norms, the third one. In the social norms, I would like to mention one of the important concept, that is high context cultures, how it differentiates from the low context cultures. Actually, the high context cultures are like the Eastern countries culture, like Japan, China, and Singapore, and these Eastern countries are high context cultures. And by contrast, the low context cultures are the Western countries like United States, Britain, Germany, other European countries are low context cultures. And in this high context cultures, they don't say things directly. They don't meant only the spoken form of language. They don't say all the things bluntly in words, in verbal clues or in verbal cues. But as far as low context cultures are concerned, what is said is said. It is straightforward. There is no way of roaming around or saying another thing. Not like that. No reading between the lines. Not like that. So this is the low high context cultures. They always try to say something indirectly or in a very polite way. But low context cultures are they are just say what is meant to be said. Just a minute, please. I'm looking on another thing. Yes. So the effective strategies to overcome this problem of cross cultural communication are being friendly, and we have to educate yourself, And these are all some of the aspects of the strategies to overcome this cross cultural communication skills. Be friendly. And though people of different cultural backgrounds, they might characterize the specific actions of friendliness differently. Approaching cross cultural communication with a friendly attitude is easy to appreciate universally. So if it is if we show a friendly face, then everyone in this around the world, the man, we can say in capital letters, capital young man, is universally accepted. One thing is friendliness. So this friendliness is like I'm sorry. This friendliness is always answerable. So when you act with common courtesy and goodwill, definitely the people of other cultures will understand, and they are desire to communicate and in a friendly manner, and they'll become also amicable to us. And though there are some cultural barriers, so occasionally if we go in a friendly manner, there might be some the misinterpretation or the miscommunication takes place only occasionally. Okay. And then next point, it is educating ourselves. So it is it is we have to try our best to increase our cultural understanding in our own. If it may be prove offensive when we act as if it is another person's responsibility to tell how to adapt to and to interact with someone of their culture. But we have to make ourselves educated about the other cultures before going in, or before having a relationship with the other cultures people. So there are umpteen number of sources are available nowadays. So we have to learn what is their culture and how they behave, and what is our culture, and what are all the differences between these two cultures. And we have to educate ourselves to to make a better understanding of each other. And then embracing humility, yes, it is a universal code. So if we want to avoid some of the embarrassing miscommunications or unfortunate misinterpretations, we have to be remain humble, we have to be forgiving, and we have to be empathetic, and we have to be open minded in those circumstances. A culturally sensitive work culture definitely will have some these kinds of mistakes occasionally, but it is apparent that good faith is what one needed in making these people to be worked in one place. So embracing humility is one of the best ways to communicate with each other, communicate with people of different backgrounds and different ethnicities in a cordial way. And we have to be and also you have if we have no pre-existing or preconceived notions about the others cultures, then it would be uh, somewhat easier. That is the wrong preconceived notions about the others culture or other culture which we have in previously, which we have in our mind, may affect the communication between these two people, and communicate the free flow of information and free flow of the amicability and the friendliness of the within the people. So don't have any preconceived notions about the culture. Better you educate yourself before going into the people's before going into the workplace, or how before going into work with those people. And there should not be any bias between there should not be any bias, and you should be very vigilant about one's feelings, of course, feelings. Okay. And we have to be remain adaptable, we have to be open in our mind, to work in any situation or any environment which we have to engage ourselves in cross cultural communication. Definitely adaptability will serve ourselves as well as with in the workplace, and to maintain a good relationship between the people. And definitely it'll work optimistically. Yes. And what are all the things we have to understand while conversing, or uh, while having a relationship, or while having communicate with the other cultures people. And one thing is very sure, that we should always adopt a style which is very clear and slow, because clear and slow speech, when it comes to verbal behavior, clear and slow speech will definitely work. We have to, while if we are communicating with the people of other nationality, or with the people of having a mother language of differently entirely different mother language, then we have to be very cautious of choosing the words and enunciating our words. So enunciate each and every word clearly, and try to avoid those colloquial or slang expressions. Definitely this works. And please try to repeat what you are saying, and repeat each important idea using different words, and to explain the same concept. So the same concept may be explained twice or thrice in a very slow manner. Then however, whatever be the culture, whatever be the ethnicity or different background, people will understand. And though we are conversing in English, try to avoid the compound sentences and long sentences. As we know very well, it is simplicity is good. Always simplicity is good. So try to have simple sentences, and use active verbs instead of passive verbs. So passive verbs, we always use it to be, it always authorizes and authenticates. Instead of being an authorized person or being an authorized place, we can be friendly and we can be move easily with the people. So avoid using passive verbs. And when it comes to non-verbal behavior, use as many visual restatements such as pictures, graphs, labels, tables, and slides, while you are presenting something, or while you are definitely making others to understand what you are coming to say. Actually, if you want to if you want to definitely if you want to yes, if you want to explain some concept or explain some idea, better use pictures and graphs and tables instead of going for paragraphs or lengthy things. And the facial expression is the universal language, as we know very well. And these more facial and hand gestures will emphasize the meaning of the words. So instead of going for plain and straightforward words, use your facial expressions and hand gestures to have a good communication. And demonstration, yes, we teachers, we know very well how to demonstrate. So being a demonstrator, and we know, being the teacher, we better understand the miscommunication easily. So the passes, summaries, these are all some of the non-verbal behaviors which we can use to understand the what people are coming to say, or what we have to say clearly. And attribution. So as far as attribution is concerned, so if we have something in between the silence, okay, so that silence cannot be misinterpreted, or it should not be taken in a bad way, and it should be It should be filled in a very amicable or cordial way, because that silence may prompt the other persons to think and to assimilate what we say. So this attribution is very important. And all people don't have equivalent intelligence in all the other aspects. So if we have any miscommunication or misinterpretation or mispronunciation, so please do not equate, please do not mention the same. And if you have any some unsure, so that is, if you are unsure about what the others, what the opposite person is saying, please don't go for any uh, uh, make it as simple, and you assume the difference instead of the similarity. And understanding is, don't assume that it is understood what you have said. Please confirm what you have said is understood or not. And you just check the comprehension level of the opposite person before going for any kind of communication. So if you have some colleagues, if you have some people do who have like they are able to, if they are able to repeat what you have said and repeat the material of understanding, so it is very easy. And don't be authoritative, and be friendly in order to make it understandable. And if you are presenting a large material, or if you are having something to say in a very vast way, make it make it into small modules. And don't take a longer time frame to make people understand what you're coming to say. And as we know very well, that is motivation and encouragement is more important in a good communication. So verbally and non-verbally encourage and reinforce speaking by non-native language participants. So don't embarrass people, or by having a good command over, don't show your command over the language. So these are all some of the ideas which we can make understand what we are coming to say to the people. And with this note of thing, and I would like to add some other points with this. Let me add. And one more important thing to improve the cross cultural communication skills is, some of the important points are: don't be afraid of pauses in conversation, and be focused on what you are coming to say. And try to understand the culture, that is what I have said. And be open to learn about the other cultures and ethnicities. So that would be a greater help when you converse with people in that way. So when we say cross cultural communication, people of different cultures, they'll come and talk, and we'll have a good understanding of what they are saying. So this will definitely improve the knowledge, as well as this will definitely improve the relationship between those people. So with this point, I would like to wind up my presentation, and if there are any doubts or queries, kindly make. Yes, sir. And I would like to answer the question, that is, over all these, do I think that individual personality traits affect cross cultural communication? No, definitely not. The individual personality traits, those are all, those traits are it is individual, as you have said, it is individual traits, so it will not affect the other cultures. And when it say, if we want to if we want to move, or if we want to have a relationship with the people of other cultures, then we will not it will not affect, because we are in a very formal, and we are in a very professional way. So in that professionalism, individual traits are not taken into account, I think. And you have said is silence is definitely interpreted universally. Yes, we have to interpret universally, because in this globalization era, we people are communicating with almost all the cultures of people, all the people around the world, across the cultures, and we have to interpret it universally. Yes, I think so. I think I have answered your question, because if the silence is misinterpreted, then even the silence is misinterpreted, then what about the words which we are speaking? Yes, any other questions or queries?
Participants, you may ask questions now.
And
Dear,
another question by same person, that is, sir, you have asked that whether the youngsters of present time will struggle to understand others than people of previous generations. Definitely yes, because people nowadays they know some other cultural traits, are they know some of the cultural differences, but they do know how to eradicate those differences, or how to befriend with those different cultural people. Yes, present generation is like they are individually they are making, but they are also easygoing. There are also some of the easygoing people. They don't care much for those differences. But when it comes to workplace, or when it is like in a workplace, or when they are working together for for a single goal, if they are having a proposal, then they have to understand each other, and they have to be open-minded to understand each other. They have to inculcate those habits as well. Yes, they can be trained. The special training, as we have in our colleges, or in our higher educational institutions, we usually have some personal development programs, some workshops. In that way only, we have to make them to understand. And one more thing, what we can do is, we the literature people can teach them the literatures. Through literature, we can teach them how to understand people, and how to understand the cultures, different ethnicities of the people. As we have nowadays, we literature people, English literature people are becoming more open to all kinds of literature, comparative literature, and Korean literature, or Chinese literature, Japanese literature. There are translations as well. So those literature people definitely literature as a I believe it will add to teach these intercultural communicative traits. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir, definitely. Definitely, the prescribing the new literatures and syllabus, definitely it will help the students to adopt and understand, and also to know about the different cultures. Because these new literatures will open up the arena of understanding the history, ethnicity, and cultural background of those countries, and also how people are across the world, and how they are taking the things. It's definitely it's working, I think. Thank you, sir.
Participants, do you have any other questions? Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Shall we wind up the session, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And before winding up, I have to thank each and all the participants and the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I would like to thank each and every one of you, and your feedback really, thank you, wonderful. Thank you. You have given such a feedback. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening to all. On behalf of all staff, I'm glad to be here to express my vote of thanks. It has been such a honorable to a part of this wonderful event. On the behalf of organized committee, we would like to attend a heartfelt thank you to our chief guest, Ms. S. Yasmin, Assistant Professor and Head Department of English, Kongu Arts and Science College, Hirode. Thank you, ma'am. The way you present the topic, role of culture diversity in a modern society, which enhance cultural communication, the ways, basic element, language, non-verbal communication, social norms, and effective strategy, be friendly, educate yourself, embrace humility, remain adaptable, and understanding, verbal behavior, non-verbal behavior, design and motivation. The way you present is very since thank to the professor from various college who attend this event throughout. I finally like to thank all of you present here for making this time to be with us and helping us make this event grand successful. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dada, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Shall I leave the meeting?
Yes, ma'am, you can, ma'am. Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me,
Dear
what about the
participants,
feedback?
we appreciate your participation today. A new guest and an even more innovation idea will be present to you tomorrow. Thank you.
Participants,
Excuse
kindly
me,
wait.
what about the
Your feedback
feedback?
link will be posted shortly.